Hey friends, I'm thinking of the people who are having some really hard times right now and are thinking that the emotions are just a little bit too much to handle. And what this sounds like is I just can't deal with this right now. I can't handle it. I can't go there. So this is for you. I'm going to make a case for going ahead and letting yourself feel some of these emotions. And I know that that's a little bit scary. In the past, I've been one to say I don't want to be sad. I'm afraid to because I'm afraid that I won't be able to pull myself out of it. Like I'll get in such a rut or a ditch of sadness that I won't be able to climb my way out. Or if I start crying, I won't be able to stop. And that felt so real and so legitimate. And so I I want to share that emotions are things that have really, really important messages. They aren't just random. They're like these little kids. They're persistent too. Like they're the little kids who come up and say, "Mommy, mommy, 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 mommy." And finally, when you turn around and say, "Yes, honey," they're like, "I love you." And then they're done. They've said their piece and they move on. And emotions are like that. They have something to say, and when we honor them and listen to them, they are much more likely to pass on smoother. The suffering comes when we try to resist them, when we try to distract from them, and when we try to react to them or feel like we are controlled by them and have to react to them. And these often cause some really unhealthy coping mechanisms. It's when we're trying to distract by using over-exercising or over-drinking or overeating to dull the sensations in our bodies. When we resist them and we push them away, it's exhausting, it's draining. And when we react to them, we're just kind of adding fuel to that fire. We're losing the control and the authority that we have over our thoughts and our feelings. And so I'm going to challenge you that when you hear yourself saying, "I can't handle this," remember that you are actually in charge. You're in charge. When we say, "I can't handle it," what we just did was make ourselves smaller than the problem. We made our problem bigger than us. That's called disempowerment. And it starts to feel like it's this looming monster that's coming to get us because we're so small and we can't handle it. So if you could try changing your language about it, even if you still decide that it's not something that you want to address at the moment, when you're actively deciding it and saying, "I'm choosing not to deal with that right now, I'm choosing to deal with that at another time," you just put yourself in a position of authority and power, empowered yourself. So it doesn't feel like there's some random looming thing that's coming to get you. You've actually made a choice. My other challenge to you is to go ahead and let yourself feel. If you feel like you're afraid that it's going to take you over, give yourself a time limit. 15 minutes, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to allow myself to feel really, really sad about what just happened. Or journal about what's going on. What's the first time you remember feeling this way? What's the strongest memory you have about feeling this way before? Go ahead and write down all your feelings, get them out, tear them up, burn them, whatever you need to do at the end, so that you have in some way acknowledged the message that your emotions are trying to share. The good thing about this is the better you get at feeling emotions, the more capacity you're going to have to feel things on both sides of the spectrum. Let's use rejection as an example. If we are so afraid of being rejected, we keep ourselves from the other side of the spectrum, which is a deep, deep love. If we're afraid of being rejected, we're not going to allow ourselves to love so much. When we are okay with uncomfortable emotions, we expand our capacity. They're good for us. So, I'm hoping with my heart that this helps you who are struggling this week. I encourage you to go ahead and feel. Let yourself feel, and to also put yourself in a position of power. You've got this. You can do it. Okay. Thinking of you. Good luck.